welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about thrifting tips, give you guys some tips on how to thrift better, specifically if you're thrifting for baby or children's clothes. Because I find that a lot of people buy kids clothing brand new, but there's just so much of it, and they grow so quickly that it just doesn't make sense to spend so much money on clothing. I personally have thrifted all of my son's clothes since he was born, other than what was gifted to us, but I have also encouraged family and friends to buy used for us or to purchase from ethical and sustainable businesses. So yeah, I'm just gonna give 5 tips today. I know a lot of you here are here for baby name content because that's kind of what does well on my channel. But I think I'm going to be doing one baby name video a week and one video that's not name related and is more sustainability or motherhood focused. If you don't like that, that's okay. Just skip the videos you don't want to watch. But this is kind of what I'm into right now, so I want to create content about it. All right, let's get started. So my first tip is to shop a size and season ahead. So babies grow really quickly. Like you're probably going through 4 or 5 sizes a year for the first few years of your child's life, which is a lot. That's a lot of clothes that you have to buy, considering that babies also often go through more than one outfit a day. So yeah, shop a size and a season ahead. So what I like to do is, for example, summer is going to be coming up in a couple months. So around like March, right before the season changes, I will assess what size my son is in currently, and then make my best guess as to what sizes he's going to be in throughout the next season. And then once I have figured out what size I think I'm going to need, I will go out and I will buy all of the essentials before that season actually hits. This is so important because I find, at least in the thrift stores around me and even on online thrift stores, the essentials of whatever season often get really picked over. So shorts and swimwear in the summer, boots, jackets, sweaters in the winter. So if you shop a size and a season ahead, you kind of avoid that rush to get certain items. And then you won't be scrambling to buy items at the last minute, and if you can't find them, you'll have to go to Walmart to get them. And obviously you're not going to let your kid go without boots or shorts, so you'll have to do that. But if you shop ahead, you can sort of avoid that issue. The other thing I love about shopping ahead of time is that you're making sure that the people who actually really truly can't afford to buy new will have access to the essential items during those applicable seasons, because people who are extremely low income can't afford to shop ahead of time. So they're going to be going probably to buy winter boots or coats right when the season hits. And if everyone who's just thrifting because they want to thrift and they want to do better for the environment has bought out all of the winter coats and boots, then their children may end up going without, which is really sad. And I know there are resources for those people to get them what they need, but in general, if you can afford to shop a size and a season ahead, do so, because it's good on many different levels. So my next tip is not just to shop at your big box thrift store, so Value Village, Goodwill, Salvation Army, etc. I would encourage you to also shop online if you can afford it. There are awesome retailers online that carry children's clothing. Some of the big ones are Poshmark, thredup, etc., those sorts of platforms. One that's in my area is the Sharing Squirrel. They have a brick and mortar store, but they also sell and ship online, which is amazing. And then also you can actually buy clothing on platforms like Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, and eBay, and that's parents actually just selling their clothing, so there's no middleman, and sometimes it can be cheaper that way, because when you sell clothes on Poshmark, or if you sell them to consignment shops like Once Upon a Child, you get a very small amount. The parent gets a very small amount of money for it, and then the retailer jacks the price way up. Also, look into the smaller thrift stores in your area. There's often independent thrift stores that pop up places that aren't the big chains. And you can find some really cool stuff there. Usually they have some great finds. My next tip is to buy less. So I would not consider myself a minimalist. We definitely have more clothing than a minimalist would. We don't have a capsule wardrobe just because it doesn't really make sense for my family, but I do believe in only buying really what you need. This kind of has two sides. The first is that obviously you don't want to take resources away from other people. So if you're buying way more than you need, you might be taking resources away from those who need it, or from people who want to shop secondhand but now can't find what they need because a whole bunch of people have overbought the necessities. So just buy what you need. The other aspect is just a financial aspect. It is obviously, thrifting is extremely cheap. It's much cheaper than buying from big box retailers. So it's natural to want to overbuy because you suddenly have more money in your budget and you suddenly have more money left after buying what you would normally buy, and maybe you buy some more. But just pocket that money, keep it. Save it for some eco swaps or put it towards your mortgage or debt or whatever. Don't buy more than you need. It's tempting, but try not to. So my fourth tip kind of goes deeper into this, and that is assess your needs and make a list. So in order to buy less, you really need to know what you need, and also kind of the color scheme and patterns that will work well together so that you don't need to buy more in order to make outfits work. So what I will do is I will think about how many times a week I do laundry, how many outfit changes Percy has per day, and just the general essentials that I will need for that season. For me, I like to have about 9 outfits in his wardrobe that will fit him, because we do laundry about once a week, once every 6 days, but he often goes through, once or twice a week, he'll end up going through more than one outfit. And then I also need about 7 sleepers for him. And so that's kind of what I base it on. I make a list and I divide it up and I figure out what I need before I go to the thrift store so that I kind of have a more focused, mindful shopping experience. Because if you go in blind, you'll often end up buying too much of one thing, not enough of another thing. For me, the big thing is I overbuy tops because they're really cute. And then I don't have enough bottoms to go with the tops. And bottoms I find are almost more essential than tops. So yeah, that's another good tip. This is another one that's more on the financial side of things. Shop the sales. So thrift stores have huge sales because they usually have a very large profit margin. So about once a month, I find the big thrift stores have 50% off days. Smaller thrift stores, it varies more, but they often have sales as well. So try to wait for those big sale days to go in and buy what you need. And then the other thing is sometimes if you donate clothing to a thrift store, they will give you a coupon in return. Not all thrift stores do this, but I know that Value Village and Talese do in my area, and I believe Salvation Army does. I think Salvation Army's coupon is actually 50% off, which is amazing. Talese only gives you a $5 off coupon. It's hardly anything, but take advantage of that. And donating clothing also helps to keep items in circulation and keeps the cycle going. So donating, even if you don't get a coupon, is a great thing to do. Finally, don't pass over things just because they have a stain on them or they're ripped. If you have any crafty or sewing skills at all, you can easily turn that into a bomb outfit. So one thing that I like to do is if it's more of a neutral shirt, so if it's plain and doesn't have a print on it and there's a stain on it, I will tie-dye that shirt. I will tie-dye it because tie-dye is in right now. So you can get a shirt for a couple of cents from the thrift store with a stain on it, tie-dye it, and you have the cutest outfit. And then if you get a pair of shorts or pants to go with it and tie-dye those too, that's a full outfit, and super cute. Babies in tie-dye, nothing cuter. But it works for adults too. So if you find stained shirts, just tie-dye them problem solved. Holes, patches, you can buy cute patches, super cheap, and patch up the clothing. There's even iron-on patches, so you don't even need to sew. And for small rips and tears, I just sew it up. I'm not good at sewing. I'm a terrible sewer, but I can fix a tiny little rip in pants. For me, that's not a deal breaker. It's not a reason not to buy. And I love, love, love buying those imperfect pieces because I know that they probably would have ended up in a landfill otherwise because they just wouldn't have sold. People don't like imperfect things, but to me, it's just an opportunity to make it an even more beautiful piece. All right, I hope these tips were helpful. It's kind of what I've learned over the past few years of shopping primarily secondhand. If you have any thrifting tips, let me know in the comments because I would love to hear.